it's PM Mathis, your global indie author distributor, and I hope that you're having a great day today. It's been a challenging week, but nonetheless, it's been a good one. I hope you noticed I got like a little bit of lip stuff on here. I actually had like a little facial. I don't know how I feel about it. What do you think? But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Just trying to help another business owner out to make some numbers. So, that's what it's all about. We support one another. So that's what I'm in the business of doing. So, this is my series, Greatest Story Ever Told. And this one is called What Do You Believe? Now, it is very simple and very easy to get into a mindset of being down and depressed and feeling like you're in a box. Okay? I'm kind of in a space right now. You didn't need to see my back there. That's just in case somebody wants to, get a little bit crazy. But anyway, that don't need to be there. That's a little bit distracting. But it really comes down to, putting yourself in a mental box that you don't want to lock yourself into. It comes, it's about not um, speaking things and confessing things that keep you limited. It's about trusting, whatever your higher power is. I trust in God. It's about trusting Him, giving things over to Him, laying it literally at the foot of the cross. Because I know for me, I am the analytical type. I am very loyal by nature. And when it's time for that breaking apart or letting something go or somebody, is very hard for me, and I take it deeply, because if I connect with you, I connect with you. I mean, I mesh, who I am with you. My DNA becomes your DNA becomes my DNA. Okay, and so it can be really hard for me to do like this breaking away, because I am very prone to be saddened by abandonment and rejection, because that has been a part of my history. Now, I don't claim those things, now, but I know I have to watch, how I let those kinds of things affect me. So, like I said, this is my series, Greatest Story Ever Told, because we are still in the holiday season. This series will carry over until, the end of the holiday season, but I think it is such a great title, because as long as we can rely and trust on the cross, and that is the greatest story ever told, that we can live this life successfully. Okay? And so this week I touched on 3 points. Excuse me, 5 points. The first one is, what do you speak? Like I said, this really comes down to the words that you put into the atmosphere. If you put in the atmosphere that you can't get something done, you are not worthy of something, if you claim defeat rather than victory, that will become your reality. Why? Because those will be the things that you speak. And it really is about putting positivity in the atmosphere, because remember, negativity and positivity can't walk side by side. You're either going to have one or the other. Now, personally, I can throw a huge pity party. I can feel bad all by myself. I don't need any help. And generally when I'm in that mindset, I just kind of keep to myself. I don't do a lot of speaking into the atmosphere, because I know, like I'm telling you, that what I speak becomes my reality. And I even have to catch myself moving on to the second point, which is, what are your thoughts? I even have to catch my thoughts. I have to take my thoughts captive, because if I don't, then I become this huge emotional mess. Okay? Because I then focus too hard on what went wrong. I don't even see, what has been right. I don't even see that there have been some good times. I just feel like my time has been wasted, and I really hate for my time to be wasted, because my time is valuable. And I'm not even measuring that monetarily wise, but although, because I am trying to create a business and I am a writer and a speaker, my time has a monetary value, but I'm just talking about, if I am not who you choose, if I'm not a friendship that you want, if I'm not a relationship that you want, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Let's just get that out in the open and let's not, do this song and dance thing. I just prefer you just to be honest. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. So if I'm not careful, I will overanalyze what has been said, what has been done, things in the past. I have way back when asked God to help me with my thought process and letting go of the past, because my God has said to me, as far as the east is from the west, he remembers things no more. And so I asked him for that grace and that mercy, because your girl can hold things like you would not believe. And grudges is huge with me. So I have to pray about those things and lay the hurt, the pain, the disappointment at the foot of the cross. And I would advise you to do the same thing. So give those thoughts over to God, whether, whether they're obsessive or whether they're negative, which obsessive can become negative if not tamed or reeled in. So give those things over to God and allow him to help you. Allow him to be your heartbeat. Allow him to enable you to surrender your hurts, your disappointments, the actions that people took, things that they said. Don't take those things to heart, because they will become your thought process and you will start speaking that stuff out into the atmosphere. Forgive people for their stupidity. I'm just going to be real with it. Really, we have to forgive people for their stupidity, because, everybody's thought processes are different, and maybe they perceived a thing a different way than you perceived it, and then nastiness starts spewing out their mouth. Their thought processes become wrong and distorted, and then they start spewing out nastiness to you. You have to forgive people's stupidness. Okay? I'm just going to say it like that. The third one, do you prematurely judge? Now, I know, hands up, that I do that a lot. I can just kind of see somebody, the way they're talking and their actions, and I'm like, no, I'm not really interested in getting to know that person. I'm not really interested in allowing them to be in my space. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing, because you have to be cautious and you have to walk in discernment. Knowing who you are, your personality, don't just jump into every situation and every person that wants to jump into your life. You know what I'm saying? Do your due diligence. Find out who they are. Find out what their main motivation is for being a part of your circle. And please be careful about letting everybody into your inner circle. That is not wise. Even Jesus only had, he had 12 disciples, but there were really only two that he let into that, inner place, into his heart, and to actually, walk beside him in those tough times. And I would advise you to do the same, because when you get hurt, and some of us can walk through the process of forgiving people, it takes, a lot of us a long time to forgive, and you miss out on so much. So sometimes prematurely judging somebody is not a good thing, but in some instances, if you notice some red flags, it works out for your benefit, okay? And the fourth one, like I've talked about, when we get hurt and when we let people in that don't need to be there, and they say and do things, then we have to find a way to ask ourselves, can I forgive? But we have to forgive, because that is what God requires. Because if we are not willing to forgive, then he can't forgive us. And we know that is the ultimate source and sacrifice that we want, is to be able to forgive, because we want God to be able to forgive us. Because if we don't forgive, then he doesn't forgive us. And then therefore, that cycle of forgiving becomes our lifestyle, and it puts this dark cloud over our head and in our hearts. And then God can't do what he wants to do with us and for us and through us, because forgiveness is not something that we readily give, because we understand that God is all about grace and mercy, and neither one of those things can we live without. So I would encourage you to be able to forgive. Lay it at the foot of the cross. It's not easy, and you don't forgive for somebody else, you forgive for yourself. Because like I said, you don't want that bitterness to enter into your heart. You don't want to, judge people in situations based on the bitterness that you found and that you exist in because you were unable to forgive. And the fifth point is to merge all of these 4 points together, to make them a part of your life, to make sure that what you speak becomes your reality. And you do that because you're living in a positive space. You're trusting in a positive space. You're reacting in a positive space. You check your thought processes. You check your judging of others. And you're able to forgive. Okay? Now, I took a little bit longer than I should have on that information, but that's neither here nor there, so I'm going to have to run through this part of the information. Your girl is merging her Young Living business with her passion, which is writing and speaking. And this week we were talking about the old Kid Scent Genius. And what we have in this bottle helps the young mind to focus and to concentrate. Now this is for ages like 2 to 12. It's already diluted, but for the most sensitive skin, you can put it with a little bit more dilution, okay? And my books are, because I got to do my due diligence, because, time is getting short on me. The first one is You Are God's Love Story. The second one is Daddy, You Can Hold My Hand. And the third one is Ordinary Princess. And all of these books can be, you can purchase them online from Lulu, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or Books A Million. And your girl would really love your support. Now, I'm going to leave you with this question. What do you want to see manifest in your life and the lives of your kids or those you love, those relationships that you're in? What do you want to be the manifestation of your life? Okay? And finally, I'm going to leave you with the scripture that I work with this week, which is Hebrews 11:6, which reads, "And without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him." And we want to know and be assured that God is the rewarder of good things in our lives, because he helps us with what we believe, what we speak, what we trust, and what we think. And I want you to always be blessed and have victory, because you're trusting and you're believing in the one that created you. Hey guys, this is PM Mathis, your global indie author distributor. And as always, 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 I want you to what? Be blessed. Okay guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye.